Have you ever seen a stocking with lights in it? Have you ever made one like that? I know I haven't, but I had a friend who ordered one. So let's figure it out together and give it a shot. I think you'll be happy with the results. Well, here's the end result of the beautiful stocking with lights in it. So let's get started and let's figure this out together. Here is the kit, and I will tell you that the highlight of any day for me is opening up a new kit and seeing what's inside. It's all pretty much the same, but it's so exciting. So here is the lighted Christmas tree kit, stocking kit. These are the lights, my first time seeing them. So didn't know what to do with those. There's some gold thread, and then here is the photograph that I frequently reference when I am using the directions and putting things together. If I have a question, sometimes that's the quickest way to answer my questions, just to look at the photograph from them. Then they have great directions. Busilla always has good directions with lots of diagrams and references. So I always like to open that up, check it out, and become somewhat familiar. I don't read it through or anything like that, but it helps me to be familiar with just where is the information I'm going to need, where is that located, and what exactly am I going to do with it, and just to kind of get a good overall idea of the project. Now, this stocking kit also comes with a matching ornament because it's the 150th anniversary year of Busilla, so it got the extra special touch of an ornament. And then I always like to just go through and see kind of where and what the felt is at. Now, this is a nice tan. You can see the felt is very well marked and easily seen. It's very clear, and that is the sign of the kind of kit you want to work on. The red felt here is going to be the front of the stocking. It also has the additional red pieces that are going to go on the stocking along the side. So we'll be cutting out just the front of the stocking, but leaving those side pieces to work on later as they come up. Then it has a beautiful kind of a yellow goldy yellow felt, which is lovely, and all these felts in this kit were a good weight. They were clearly marked, and they were soft and really nice to work with. Now, this will be the back of the stocking, the top of the front of the stocking, the name tag, and all the candy canes that go on the stocking is in the white. And then you have a dark green and a light green. So that's pretty much all the colors and the felt that you're going to have in this kit. Now, the greatest degree of assurance you can have on having success of a project is your preparation. So this again is all of the things that I do to prepare. So I take the felt, put it into my kit box. Now it's time to open up the package of sequins, beads, and floss and needles. Again, here's the lights. It did say when I referenced the directions to set them aside. They are one of the last things that you're going to do. So I just put them in the box and tried to forget about them and not to worry about them. Then you're going to open up the floss and the beads and the sequins and get your floss all organized and sorted onto your floss sorter. If you have any questions about floss sorters, I do have a video on them, an old one that I used to use and this new one that I use now, and how I sort it and how I organize it and how that does really help me to keep my project on the move. Floss is one of the things that so easily can derail your project. So getting your floss organized and taking the time to do it really does make a difference in your completion and your ease of completion and your lack of frustration in making something like this. When it comes to the sequins and the beads, the organization is also key. I just simply use the bead containers that I've used before, and I put the sequins into the matching container right on top of the leftover beads from any previous kits. And as you can see, I've got quite a few sequins and beads that have not been used previously in previous kits. So I just make sure to match the color. The biggest thing I found that I didn't realize until later was that some kits include gold sequins and some kits include yellow sequins, and although they are really, really similar, they're not quite the same. So I didn't realize it, and I was dumping yellow sequins into my container of gold. So I've since, even with putting on good lights and spreading them way out, I can't tell the difference for sure on all of them. So I'm trying to keep them separated and labeled. So you also in each kit are going to get one bead needle and one embroidery needle. And sometimes they are marked and they say what they are, but many times they're not. So the difference is your bead needle will be thinner and longer than your embroidery needle. So if you put the two together and compare them, you'll be able to tell which is which. And again, I put those into my floss sorter in different areas. I've labeled embroidery and bead, so I'm not having to take time to figure out, is this where the bead needles are, or is this the embroidery needles? It's just automatic and it's labeled. Again, anything I can do to make my project more efficient and less time consuming is a good thing. Here, now it's time to begin the actual stocking. So the very first thing you're going to do is to cut out the stocking front, which is what I'm doing here. Now you'll see that I have cut the stocking front piece away from any other small pieces before I began to actually cut the stocking front out. That is just a good practice. I think it's what I have always done, and it keeps you from potentially disturbing any of those other pieces. You can see how I've got the felt kind of folded up and in my hand in order to best manipulate it, and I don't want to be affecting pieces that I'm not even ready to use yet by doing that. So again, this is the base of the foundation of your stocking. Take your time, do it carefully, and make sure that it is really quality work here at this point. It will really impact the rest of your project and the rest of your stocking. The front of the stocking is completely cut out. You can see my quality control cat is on the job, and the stocking front has now been cut out. So now I have applied the strip of green felt, light green felt, and the sequins on it, as well as the white cuff to the top of the stocking. It's not a bad idea occasionally to lay your pieces and make sure that out on top of the stocking, right here, I'm still working on embroidering the outline stitch onto the tree, but it's not a bad idea occasionally to make sure you're seeing that everything's lining up, things are matching, you're covering over those indication lines of where pieces are to fit. So here I will let you see the cuff of the stocking a little closer. It has quite a bit of detail on the cuff, and I really enjoyed doing this. The red lines are all embroidery outline stitch, and then each square or diamond has a white sequin in it. It really does make the top of the stocking just so beautiful. And the great details. It's so much fun. I love the details. Now you can see I have applied the tree to the stocking. It has white sequin garlands. It has white sequin and bead kind of stars on it. And then there will be many more details applied down at the bottom. There are packages, there's a rocking horse, and there's a teddy bear. So many details. And then there on the tree will be more candy canes, stars, ornaments, and of course the star at the top of the tree. And it's one of the effects that I like on this stocking is the star on the top of the tree actually goes beyond the cuff, so it stands out a little bit more, makes it just a little bit more impactful and beautiful. A while back, I had a question from a viewer that asked if I had ever put lights into a stocking. And there are some stocking kits that come with lights. And since I had never done it, didn't have anything to offer, unfortunately for her. But I now have a kit that I finished that comes with lights. Look at this. So you and I will figure out how to best do this together. I have read the instructions, and it says to kind of leave this battery kit in the toe and begin inserting the lights as you go up. However, I have a particular challenge with this stocking in that I am going to line it. So I do want this battery pack and the off and on switch to be accessible after it's lined. So my thought is I will actually begin with the lights, the lowest lights on this end, and string them up to the top, allowing this cord some access through the lining, and then to make a little pocket, a pocket that this battery pack can go in that's right up here at the top, so that you could easily turn the lights off and on without having to dig down into the stocking. So that's my thoughts. Now, I have read the directions for inserting the lights. Excuse me, sorry about that. For inserting the lights. And it says here that the marks on the stocking are these little, they look like sideways capital I's. You can see that here and here, here. Those you are to cut through not only the tree, but the stocking front, and put in the lights from the back, so just the bulb shows through. And you can see that the bulbs are not really like Christmas bulbs. That's what I expected. They're just kind of a bump in the wire. And then on the back, you tack it with one strand of floss to hold it into place. So, here we go. Let's give it a shot. My sharp scissors are right here. And it does say to cut only one slot at a time, and that's because the lights may not, the distance may not be quite right, and so you may have to do some adjustment. So let's see what happens. Ooh, I better put my glasses on. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that slit went through the tree. Now I need to get through the back of the stocking, or it's actually the front of the stocking. I have not put the back of the stocking on yet. Okay. And now I'm going to take the end of the light and try to insert it through this slit that I've made. There we go. And I think I'm going to get my dark green thread needle here. And using a single strand, I am going to fasten that right there. And I do want the light to go upwards because the next light will be up. Okay, so I actually think I'm going to stitch from the back. I don't know if you can see here. On the back of the stocking, you see I've got the light coming through here. Actually kind of stitch that closed so that that light can't come back through the hole. But I think I also want to stitch over this end here because it kind of sticks out, and make sure that that lays down there. And then I'm going to go back to the back side and give those stitches some knotting, because I do not want them to come out. I like to do 2 knots. Sorry about that whenever I knot. Okay, so that's one light in place. Let's turn it on and see what it looks like. Oh, there it is. It lights up. Okay, now the next light is going to be right here. So I think I'm going to cut my thread there. The tail I didn't cut. And put that needle over there. And go to the next light space, which is right here. I can kind of fold the tree felt a little bit, and that allows me to get a cut. It's a little more difficult to get the cut through the back. Okay, I think I've done it. And now this next light, I'm going to kind of bend the wire this way and try to get it through that space. This is easier said than done, let me tell you. One of the options that they did give, if you choose not to do the lights, is to just kind of scratch off the paint that indicates where they should go, and that is an option. So if you don't want to try this, I think I need some more. Don't think I got it cut. Now let me see. That looks like it did it better. And there it came through, I think. Right there. And I feel like that looks right. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go to the back for my stitching. My friend, I think, is on my needle. I can't be comfortable, Finnegan. Okay, and I need to get some more knots in here. And it looks like you can see here on the back, that one's going to go up, and this one is coming from down here. And so Finnegan, no. No. And then I'm going to go to over here and stitch it here as well. Try to hold that nice and tight. Check the front. That looks okay. Turn them on. Yep. Okay. I think I like it. Now I want to get a second knot in this. I can see here where lining a stocking that has lights in it like this would be really quite important, because these wires back here could really catch on things that you put in the stocking. And we always want our stockings to be useful. Want to be able to put candies and treats and toys and goodies into them. So, okay, it looks like my next one is going to be right here. Let's try one more together, and then I will show you the end result when I get finished here. Next light is here. I really am trying to just kind of push the bulb through and not any wires. I can see that it's cut. Doesn't feel like it's quite all the way. Gosh, now I don't even see where I cut it at all. Right there. No, up here. Okay, up here. Go. Okay. It's actually easier to kind of to bend it. To bend the wire a bit and use that to help you poke it through the hole. And then I'm going to come up from the back here and actually kind of close the hole up a little bit on the front. And all of these markings, the paintings for indicating where the lights should go, can be, if they show and you don't want them to show, you can just scratch them off with the end of a sharp scissors or with a needle. A lot of times I use a needle. So here I want to tack this down on both ends of the wire. And then let's see, which direction is this going to go? It's going to go to here next, so I kind of want to have the wire going that direction when I tack it down. So far, I seem to have plenty of wire to get these lights from one indicated place to the next. I don't seem to have any trouble so far with that. So there you have it. That's 3 lights in. There's 12. 9 more to go. Let me flip it over here real quick. See what it looks like. There they are, the first 3 lights. 1, 2, 3. The next one's going to go over here. And then probably here, there, 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 there. That could be a little bit longer reach. And there. And then one at the top. All right, I will be back when I've got them finished and show you the end result. There, the lights are finished. They went in just as the first few did. Again, it's a little tedious to get them to poke through the hole a little bit, because you do want to make it just as small a hole as you can. But they went in just fine. The distance between the lights worked out perfectly. I didn't have to adjust anything anywhere. You can see there they're off. Now they're back on. On the back, what I did on the front, after I pushed the light through, then I took my matching green thread and I tried to kind of stitch closed the hole that I had made, and on both sides, to make sure that there wasn't anything gapping. Then I pushed my needle through to the back and I stitched down the wires on each light on one end and the other side, so that I felt that they were secure and that they weren't going to pull out. Again, with these kind of wires and stuff down into the stocking, you can see there they can be pressed and kept, and I'm going to have the pocket for the battery case to be right up here. But I think it's highly important to make these stockings to end up with lining, to line these stockings so that these wires do not get pulled or tugged on when you're using the stocking. And I firmly believe that every stocking should be fully usable, to be filled with treats and candies and toys and games and anything else that you can fit down in there. So this is all finished. The front is completely finished. I have the back is cut out and ready to be attached, which I will do that. I will not do that on camera, but I always use a seamstress stitch, which is a kind of almost a back stitch, and attach it. And then I have the lining is cut out and ready to be sewn. I found this really nice Christmas plaid, and I really like that. So that will be stitched together and placed down inside the stocking with the pocket, which I will just use some of these scraps to make a nice little pocket up here in this corner that the battery case can just slide down into. And that will make sure that it has a place to go, but is very accessible and doesn't impact the stocking. The tab for the stocking still needs to be attached, and that will be attached right here before I sew the backing on. And that's also right in the location where this pocket will be, but on the lining. That's where the pocket will go. So the pocket should and the battery pack will be supported by the ring here and shouldn't pull down too hard. But it always, can be placed. It could be placed down into the lining and let it just fall down as far as it can go. It wouldn't go all the way to the toe, but it could hang down in there if that's what someone opted to do. But I did want it to be easy to turn the lights off and on and not have to take the stocking down and stick your hand all the way down into it. But that's it. All right, just some pictures and video for the very end when it's completely put together and ready to be delivered. Oh, I do have, let's see, where did I put it? Where did I put it? I have the nameplate finished. Had to move some things around here. Well, I'll show that to you on the final picture. Here it is. And it's for Debbie. And that nameplate will hang right here. So, see you back when I have it all finished. And here is the finished stocking, lined and name tagged and ready to be gifted. This stocking is already sold. It was a special order, but if you would like to make a stocking of your own, please check the links below. We'll have links to the kits available, as well as I encourage you, if this is one of your first stockings, check out our video about how to get started with felt stockings. But if you'd like to purchase a completed stocking, you can do that at our website. The link will be in the description and on your screen. You can go there. I currently have 4 completed stockings available for sale, and they should arrive, if ordered right away, by Christmas. So I hope you have a blessed holiday and you spend wonderful time with family and friends.